you want to know my opinion on what I think, just keep on watching.
Hey guys, what's good? It's your girl Nisi here and I'm back with a new video, and in today's video I'm going to be speaking about the whole tennis drama. I never thought I would be doing a video on tennis, but yeah, here I go. So first of all, shout out to Taylor Townsend. She been winning like Black Girl Magic. She's winning, and you know, she's won her recent matches and it got a bit techie on the court. You know what I mean? This Caucasian woman tried coming for her. I ain't gonna say no names because I ain't promoting it on my channel. So big up Taylor. But yeah, she won fair and square. You know what I mean? People can see it, even if the like refs or the judges get it wrong. People in the audience can see. You know what I mean? But yeah, this woman was very salty and tried to come for Taylor, saying she's uneducated, she's this, she's that. And I love how Taylor gathered her nicely and was like, "Listen, da 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 da. I won fair and square. Pack your bags and go home because I've got another match to prepare for." So I'm gonna roll the clip and I will be back with my commentary. Learn to take a loss. Can you believe it? She saw at the people in the audience, like, listen, do not play. I always say on this channel, do not play with black women because the way they will gather you up. I love how she said, learn to take a loss. And she was just like, girl, bye. And she went onto the other side and she celebrated with her people. Like, hello? But yeah, I'm gonna roll a couple of more clips because obviously, usually when you win, you get interviewed. So they interviewed her, and you know, people want to know the details on the whole back and forth. So I'm gonna roll that, and I will be back.
Saying I have no education and no class. I don't really take that personally because I know that it's so far from the truth and so far from anything. And again, if I allow what other people have to say about me affect me in that way, then they win. So ultimately, no, I stood up for myself and I kept in my mind in that moment how I wanted to portray myself and how I wanted to show up. And if my son were to see this interaction, how would he view it? And I think he would be proud of the way that I handled the situation.
So you just heard that madness. Can you imagine? You're uneducated, you have no class, bitch. But I still won you, and I like how she said, you know, she's far from wrong. Like, you don't know me just because you played a match with me. You think you know me, and it's the same with my channel. The longest I've been on here is like an hour, maybe 5 minutes. You guys do not know me, so when people try and drag me in the comments, it's just like, you don't know me in a real life. Just because I put a video out, you think you know my whole life. Like, you don't know me. But no, I agree. As long as you know yourself and you're living your truth, can't nobody tell you nothing. So like, anyone can tell me, oh, you're not educated. You don't know me. You don't know what degrees I've got, what qualifications I've. You know what I mean? It is weird. Let's just say she was uneducated and had no class, bitch. I still won you. Like, you know what I mean? You can call me everything under the sun, but I still beat you though. You can't say I'm a loser. You can't say I'm a sore loser because you're talking about yourself because you're the one that lost and you're the one that can't take a beat down. But I love how she spoke on her son, like, you know, she didn't want to pop off or do too much or get too aggressive, too angry, too loud. You know, this is what they love to say about black women because in the back of her mind, she knows how the newspapers will just run the articles the next day. She's on TV. This is a match. You know what I mean? This is not the supermarket or the corner shop. Like, this is a tennis match. And I don't like how the girl tried to threaten her, but wait till you come out of the US. And it's just like, what you're trying to say, is something gonna go down in Wimbledon? Because listen, the black folks over here have got her back. So I hated when she was just like, yeah, just wait till you come out of the US. And it's just like, what you what you trying to say? And obviously, big up the goats, Serena and Venus Williams, you know, because of all the BS they had to go through when they were young black girls. It's for these black girls now coming into tennis that can run. They had to crawl so they could run. So obviously, you have Townsend, you have Coco, you have Naomi Osaka. You know what I mean? There's a lot of black girlies in tennis, and I am here for it. And tennis is big over here in the UK, you know, tennis, swimming, and football, obviously, like they're huge sports over here. So, you know, I'm watching. It's funny because my dad actually wanted me to get in the whole tennis, but you know, just the it just wasn't for me. Shout out to Simone Biles. She was at one of the matches. I love that. You know, black girls from different sports supporting each other. I love that. My daughter is currently doing gymnastics, and even with that, there's a lot of racism. There's a lot of racism in all these sports, but I just love how black women dominate it. Simone Biles, the Williams sisters, Tyler Townsend, like with like anything we touch, we dominate. You know what I mean? So I am so here for it. It's all in the genetics, like it's in our genes. And I did study physical education, PE. I did study that on a higher level, and even my white PE teacher said like black people's genetics and how we're built and it's just on another level compared to like white people and Asian people. And you know, you learn about the muscles, the bones, like you know what I mean, the strengths. Like, yeah, I used to love PE, you know, like rounders, netball, basketball. Like, yeah, I'm a very sports girly. But yeah, but shout out to her, and I just love how she just kept it calm and collected, and she gathered her up.
Shout out to the haters in that corner over there. They're gone. Where are you? I don't hear you anymore. It's okay. It's okay. No. It's okay. They're gone. I don't hear them anymore.
Yes, fuck a hater. Oh my gosh, I love it. Oh my gosh, I love it. See, that's the kind of match I want to go to when it turns up. Like, oh my gosh, I am so here for it. You know what I mean? That corner is awfully quiet now. Like, say what? We can't hear you because you have left the building. Oh my gosh, I'm so here for it. But yes. So obviously Naomi Osaka, she is biracial, so she's half Japanese and Haitian. And you know, the reporters are asking about that match that happened and how does she feel. And listen, she's like, this woman has been problematic, and you pretty much just don't do anything. And I know if it was the other way around, if it was a person of color, especially a black woman, they'll have so much to say. They'll probably be suspended. But this, you know what I mean? This white woman can say this and literally nothing happens. It's like, what? So I'm gonna roll that clip now.
Obviously, it's one of the worst things that you can say to a black tennis player um, in a majority white sport. And granted, I know Taylor and I know how hard she's worked and I know how smart she is. So she's the furthest thing from uneducated or anything like that. But if you're like genuinely asking me about the history of Ostapenko, I don't think that's the craziest thing she said. I'm gonna be honest. I think it's ill timing and the worst person you could have ever said it to. And I don't know if she knows the history of it in America. But I know she's never gonna say that ever again in her life. But yeah, I mean, it's just terrible. Like that's just really bad.
Yeah, shout out to Naomi because you know she didn't have to speak on it, but she spoke facts. Like she said, you trying to downgrade a black woman and saying, you know, she has no class, she's uneducated. If you know about American history, you already know during slavery, like slaves wasn't allowed to read. You know, it took a really long time for us to actually get the chance. You could even have been unalived back in the day for having an education. So you know what I mean? To say, you know, you're uneducated, you have no, we all know what she's trying to say. You know what I mean? For those that get it. And yeah, like Naomi, Naomi said, fam, you don't know her. Like that is so far from the truth. And this woman looks so stupid. Like Taylor's dad is he's a teacher. So imagine one of your parents being a teacher, but yet you have no education. Like, huh? Like what? Well, yeah, just you have to just let the haters talk, and it just, you know what I mean? Just leave them to one side. It's like, yeah, do you? But I still, you know what I mean? She's still winning. And I love that she didn't just win that match. She went on and played. Because, you know, she must have been frustrated, of course. But she went on to the next match and she won. Like, and shout out to all the black parents, yeah, that are putting their little girls in sports. And then when they're in that sport, they're dominating it. Like, I'm here for it. Like, even in my daughter's gym class, there's so many parents of color, black, Indian, like that, Indian. I'm here for it. Like I love it because, like she said, these sports are predominantly white. So when you come in the mix, it's kind of like, ugh. And then you're winning on top of it. So I am here for it and I love to see it.
See Ostapenko versus Townsend in the US Open, yeah? That was absolutely outrageous what happened at the end of that match. She literally bullied and harassed Townsend, yeah, just because she won. It was pure sour grapes just because the girl won, yeah? She just couldn't handle it at all, so she started launching into this girl, yeah? And no one did anything. No one did. They just let this bullying take place on court. Now, this tennis federation or whoever oversees all of this, this is 2025. Why is this going on? This should not be allowed. This, you know, if someone does that on court and especially bullies and harasses another player, it's different. Like, I feel if they kind of throw the racket and stuff, if they're kind of angry with themselves. Yeah, I know they can get violations and things for that, but I kind of think, look, fair enough, you're just angry with yourself. But when they start targeting someone else and purely because they won, yeah, that should just be like outright ban for ever even, or just for however long. It's bullying, it's harassment. And what that's going to do to Townsend is, first of all, it took the joy out of her winning. The whole thing then became about this big row. That's really unfair. Also, Townsend has to now go on and play another match. She's not going to be fully focused. Even if she says, oh, I don't care, whatever, of course she cares. Yeah, no one is going to be targeted like that and be okay after that. It was absolutely outrageous. And I just can't believe that nothing was done about that. 2025 and nothing was done about that.
Shout out to that woman, and she told no lies. I agree with everything she said. Like, something needs to be put in place. She should be suspended or even put on a ban. And this has all happened just because she won. Like, huh? It's weird. Like, talk about being a sore loser. Like, I wish they could have a rematch just so Townsend could beat her again. You know, like that. Just that double slap. Yeah, I beat you the first time and the second. Now what you're gonna do? But I just love how she told her, pack your bags and go home. Because, you know, I got to prepare for a next match. Like, listen, to my Black Americans, I know you think like the white racist Americans are like the worst in the world. But white Europeans, their racism is on a whole nother level. Same in gymnastics with Simone Biles, you know, when she used to go against the Russians, the Albanians, like she used to have to put up with so much racism and, you know, people throwing shade on her and stuff like obviously the UK is closer to, you know, Europe. The racism over there is crazy. And even though I like to travel to like Greece, Spain, like there's certain countries I will never go to, even though there's loads of like black people there now. But I just don't like how they treat black people, because even though black people live in their countries, they still look down to them and, you know, again, try and say they've got no education, they've got no class. It's like they treat black citizens in their country like they're beneath them. And again, this is 2025. Like, what year is this? But shout out to that woman, and I agree with what she said.
Not gonna lie, white people love to say that they're not racist, but y'all show it every time black people are better than you. Every time a black person cannot stand out without a white person trying to dim their light. We can't have nothing. We can't have nothing, bro. We can't have nothing. It's always gotta be an issue. And then the crazy part is they bait us so bad to where we get out of character. Now we the bad guys. Like that tennis match thing with Taylor, that's uncalled for. Just be mad you lost. You lost.
I agree. As soon as black people are down here, you know, we're doing medium well, it's good. But when we go above the bar, it's like, nah, you know what I mean? They try and pull us back down, trying to humble us, and it's like it's like Simone Biles, she is the GOAT for a reason. Serena Williams is the GOAT for like there's a big damn reason she's the GOAT. Especially like in tennis when like Serena can play against men and still win. Yo, we call them the GOAT for a reason, you know what I mean? But yeah, I agree. They love us when we're just okay, but as soon as we're, you know what I mean? Like Simone, I have to bring in Simone Biles because with gymnastics, there's whole new routines and new flips and stuff because of her that are named after her. Like, not everyone can do that. And in the past, the people that have done that or changed the game have been white women. But this little black woman, like, she's only like 4 something. She's tiny and she's just doing the maddest routines, the most dangerous. You know what I mean? Winning all these medals. I love that picture. I'll have to put it there. That picture when all her medals. Oh my gosh. She literally did. I always wanted my daughter to be in gymnastics, but she definitely inspired me. It's like, no, gotta go hard. Defo needs to put my daughter in. And again, shout out to all the black parents that do have their kids in sports from, basketball, football, gymnastics, tennis, because it is costly. Like, the time goes so fast. So when the payment comes out for my daughter's gymnastics, I'm like, damn, it's that time again. Like, it comes out so quick. But yeah, I'm here for it. And I agree. Black girls, we stay winning. And then, we're showing our soft side, but they try and drag it out of us. And this is why you have to be like Beyonce. Beyonce doesn't clap back. She's so unbothered. Like, even myself, when I get like hate comments, I try and be like Beyonce, be like that. Just don't comment, because that's what they want. They want your attention. They want you to go off. So then they become like, see, I told you she was there. I told you she was aggressive. I told you. It's just like, shut the fuck up.
So let's break this all the way down. So Taylor Townsend just beat Jalena Ostapenko in straight sets at the US Open yesterday. And instead of shaking hands like a professional, Ostapenko walks up and says, "You have no class, no education. Let's see what happens when we play outside the United States." So while she's saying this, she's literally pointing at Taylor's face and jabbing her finger down toward her like she's trying to shrink her, put her in her place. That's not just disrespect, it's intimidation. It's visual domination. And when it's done to a black woman on a world stage, it's not just personal, it's political. Telling a black woman she has no education is not random. That's a dog whistle. It's the same rhetoric that's been weaponized for centuries to strip black women of our intellect, our value, our place. And it's always used when we win, when we disrupt the narrative, when we dare to take up space. And no class, another tired line meant to shame us when we don't smile and shrink. Townsend didn't gloat. She didn't disrespect anyone. She won. And suddenly, that's a problem. So then when she says, "Let's see what happens when we play outside the United States," what are you really saying? That she only wins because of some imagined home court advantage? Or is it a warning that outside the United States, a black woman like Townsend will get put back in her place? That's not a tennis critique. That's racialized language. That's veiled aggression. And in that moment, pointing in her face, speaking down to her, dripping with entitlement, it wasn't just about losing a match. It was about punishing a black woman for daring to be excellent in a space that wasn't built for her. And through all of that, Townsend stood tall and said, "I'll let my racket talk." That is grace. That's composure. That is what real class looks like. Now, I want to see that same professionalism from the United States Tennis Association and the US Open leadership. Ostapenko should be fined. There needs to be disciplinary action because when black athletes are met with hostility,
so it's not
verbal or physical, and nothing is done, the message is clear. You're going to protect the game, but not the people in it.
Yeah, she said,
if the roles were reversed, if this behavior had been directed at a white player, it wouldn't even be up for debate. It would be action, immediate and loud. Racism in sports doesn't always show up in slurs. Sometimes it's in the tone, the words, the body language, the finger in the face, the need to diminish and dominate. And if the tennis world stays silent now, you're telling black athletes exactly where you stand.
So nice and sweet. Chef's kiss, like I'm here for it and I love it. That's so funny. Not her waiting for an apology, bitch. People can apologize. Everyone's different in it. Townsend did not apologize, and I'm here for what am I apologizing for? You know what I mean? You have judges on both sides. You have people in the audience. You know what I mean? Everyone can see. So it's not like she won. mysterious. Like, she won fair and square. And I just love how when she was getting interviewed and she's just like, yeah, she said I'm uneducated, I have no class, but yet my racket did the talking. I still won. And, again, I'm preparing for my next match to get my next check. And she's packing her bags and she's going home. Bye bye. Like, listen, the clap back was so sweet. And again, I love the one where she's like, shout out to my haters. They were all sat in that corner, but as you can see, the chairs are empty. They're gone now. Like, I am here for it. I just love when black women just gather up people so nice and sweet. Like, chef's kiss. Like, I'm here for it and I love it.
What Taylor Townsend experienced at the US Open isn't just on-court drama, it's racism. And I'll tell you why. Little recap though, in case you haven't seen it. So it's the second round of the US Open, and Jalena Ostapenko, former French Open champion and seeded 25 at the tournament, plays Taylor Townsend, who's the current world #1 in doubles, also a Grand Slam champion in doubles. Now, Jalena Ostapenko is from Latvia, Taylor Townsend is from America. She's African American. Taylor beats Jalena in straight sets. If you don't know tennis, that means Jalena didn't win a set. So they walk up to the net after the match, and Taylor's smiling. She's ready to exchange, the traditional, good games after the match. But Jelena's upset, and she's upset because of some unwritten rules in tennis. One, that when you start warming up for the match, you're supposed to start, in her head, at the baseline. Taylor's a doubles specialist, so she usually starts her warm-ups at the net. Not a big deal, but Jalena, of course, makes a big deal out of it. Not surprising if you watched any of Jelena's matches. Anyways, there's another point in the match where Taylor hits a ball and it hits the net, but goes over. Taylor ends up winning the point. Now, a lot of people in tennis, when that happens and they win the point, they'll apologize. But it's not a requirement, it's not a rule. Especially when, it hitting the net doesn't decide the point. Taylor doesn't do that, Jalena gets upset. But it's what Jalena said after the match that's really problematic. Jalena says that Taylor has no class, no education, and that things only went the way they did because they're playing in Taylor's homeland. And that Taylor better be ready for when they play outside of the US. Accusing a black player, who's one of the greatest ambassadors for the sport at the moment, by the way, never had any history of being an unfair opponent, of having no class and no education? Are you serious, Jalena? That is so racist. And it's interesting because it's not an isolated thing. This is something we've heard before from certain players when it comes to certain players. Go all the way back to 1999 at the US Open when Serena Williams won her first of 6 US Open titles. Martina Hingis gets upset with both Serena and Venus, and she starts making comments about Serena in particular all the way down through the years. First saying that Venus and Serena have a big mouth and they just talk a lot and that's who they are and it happened before, it's gonna happen again. Just completely generalizing them based off of stereotypes. And then going on later to say that Serena has no finesse in her game, no style in her game, it's just brute raw power. Denying the outright racism that Serena and Venus face at Indian Wells. Just so many examples of things that she said about Serena over the years. We've seen players try to check Arthur Fields, a black player from France, trying to act like he doesn't understand the rules of tennis. I mean, this whole thing of certain players, again, thinking that they are the gatekeepers of tennis tradition, and that any player who doesn't follow whatever rules they have in their mind that aren't in any rule book, that they don't have class, that they don't have an education. I mean, why do you jump straight to the education thing when it comes to certain players? Let's talk about it. Because again, Jelena's not particularly known as the Einstein of the tour, nor is she known by anybody to be a particularly classy player. I mean, for Jalena Ostapenko, of all people, to think that she even has a sliver of a hope of authority to dictate whether or not somebody's classy, good night. And then the other piece of it, this whole homeland thing. I mean, that is another thing that has come up in tennis. I think a lot of players, whether they would admit it or not, are not happy with the idea that players are now finally receiving the benefits of belonging to the biggest tennis powerhouse in the world. And I say starting to because look at what Serena and Venus went through in the US. Again, earlier I mentioned Indian Wells, California, their home state, being called the N-word in the stands, Serena being booed after winning the final. Not to mention everything that Serena faced over the years at the US Open. In fact, Venus, who just made her 25th appearance in singles at the US Open, talked about how this experience of playing this year was the most support she's ever received at the tournament. In her 25th appearance. African American players are just starting to get that level of support at their home tournament. And you can tell that players like Jalena Ostapenko are rattled by that. To them, it's like, well, I don't have a major tournament in my homeland. Why does she get to have one? Why does she get to have an audience full of people cheering her on against me? Well, if you thought it was bad this time, good luck next time you play in New York. Because you really messed up this time, Jalena. Wrong road. Not to mention, and this is the last thing. Okay, the US Open this year is dedicated to Althea Gibson. If you don't know, she broke the color barrier in tennis. First black player to win a major title. Inspiration to pretty much every black tennis player that came after her. For you, Jalena, to say what you said on this particular year when we are celebrating the breaking of the color barrier in tennis. This whole thing of players feeling like they're the gatekeepers of tennis, like, it needs to stop. It's 2025. I mean, shoot, I experienced it playing in high school. Like, just on my little high school level, like, everybody knew I was huge on integrity. Still am. Like, I will give opponents certain calls if I'm not 100% sure, even if I'm 99% sure. And yet and still, this one kid's mom couldn't help herself but accuse me of cheating because she couldn't believe that I was a better player than her son and that I was voted captain of the team. And that's what it goes back to. Why does Taylor get to beat me? Why does Taylor get to have a crowd full of people rooting for her? Why does Taylor think that she can decide what unwritten rules she subscribes to? Because she's the baddest on the court, and who's gonna check her? You? Well, look how that's going. The whole world is flaming you right now. So next time you decide to step to a world #1 like that, really think about whether or not it's worth it. Because now you got a whole bunch of egg on your face. And let me tell you, we will never forget the way you treated Taylor. So congrats, Taylor. Keep shining on them. Keep winning. Keep being the baddest. And yeah, I hope everybody in New York goes out to support Taylor in her matches. Show Jalena how much we back her in her homeland.
Man, shout out to him. He was dropping some history there, and I agree. See, he spoke on his experience. Again, growing up, I was a sports girly one time, so I was the #1 player for the 100-meter run, and I would do what's the other one? The other one when you do it with a group of people, I can't remember the name of it. Where you have to the button, you have to pass it. So I would be the third to last. So there was me and this Asian girl. She was the fastest in the class, and I was the second. So one time on sports day, we went to the City Stadium. So this was very new when the City Stadium. Shout out to the team City and Manchester United. Yeah, so we went to the stadium, and this white girl, I beat her. Well, it was very, when it's super close, we were like, you know what I mean? It was really close. I won, black girl magic. And she came up to me like, you cheated, you pushed me, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, fam, if I cheated, there's judges, there's people in the crowd. You not think everyone would have seen me cheating? And for me to win, I don't need to push you. You know what I mean? I don't need to cheat my way through life. I'm fair and square in it. If you beat me, you beat. Like, it is what it is. But just like Townsend, she won fair and square. Could she have apologized? Yeah, but even if she said sorry, what's that gonna do? Her racket still did the talking. Like, just because if she would have said sorry, that doesn't mean you're gonna win or go into the next round. You're packing your bags and you're going home. You know what I mean? So it doesn't matter if she apologized or not. That's just excuses. And I love how we touched on the Williams sisters. Like, you can't talk about tennis and not talk about the Williams sisters. And again, even in California, their home state, people will still, call them the N word, degrade them, try and drag them. And it's really sad. And the fact that Venus has come out now and said this is the first time she's received so much love and support is mad. But they're goats now, you know what I mean? They're OGs, and a lot of people do respect them. Obviously, the black community, we love them, but a lot of whites, Asians do take their hats off to them and, give them respect because how what they've brought to the game and how they've changed the game. You know what I mean? Same with Simone Biles. When she first came in, she used to get a lot of flack, but people actually, they know what she's done for the game, and they're actually like, "Yo, you're actually a really good gymnastic." They have to say it because if you don't, you're just a hater. Simple. You know what I mean? The stacks don't lie. You know what I mean? It's there. You can watch it. You can rewind it. You can pause it. Like, Simone Biles, just when she's in the air and she's just doing I'm just like, God protect her and bless her. Like, I'm just like, it's just amazing. And now seeing my daughter do it, and I'm just like, oh, be careful, because gymnastics, it can be really dangerous, you know what I mean? And it's just like, just the things that they can do with their body. It's just like, wow, it's amazing. But shout out to him. I love that he shared his story. And yeah, man, even in high schools, in your local gymnast or football, like racism's real and it's very real and kicking in these sports.
When I say I'm super proud of how Taylor handled herself after that match with, I don't know if her name is Jalena, whatever. How she handled that match with her, and she won, and she went to go shake her hand, and the girl has the audacity to call her uneducated and classless. What? You just lost. And this ain't your first time losing against her. This is a many times of you losing against her. But it's also crazy that you're known for being a sore loser. You're known for that. Like, if anything, get your weight up, come back and try to win against her. But to talk trash and you lost? Like, you gotta be so butthurt to call a person uneducated for a tennis match. What does my education have to do with this current tennis match that you couldn't beat me in? You couldn't win. But it shows your character. It shows that you're a sore loser. And that's all that you've been hearing about that girl, is that she's a sore loser. I'm so proud of how Taylor handled herself. She spoke up. She didn't even use the race card and say that old girl intent was racist. She said, I don't know what her intent was, but I know she lost. And we all know that. You lost real bad. You looked real bad. They need to give you some coaching skills on how not to be a sore loser. It's one thing to talk trash when y'all are playing or whatever the case, but after you done lost, girl, you ain't got no.
Shout out to her and exactly like make it make sense. How have you got all this talk, all this gab, and you lost? Like, huh? Please just go to the side, pack your bags, take your little people from the audience and go. Like, I agree with her. And the fact that Townsend has beat her before is like, come on now. You need to get your training up, get your coach, and go and do some laps and get your weight up and let your racket do the talking. Just like Taylor said, my racket did all the talking. Like, I didn't have to say much. Come on, man, you gotta come better than this. Like, forget the whole sore loser. Like, you know what I mean? You're moving like you're a 5-year-old or something. Like my daughter's age, and even when my daughter like loses or she doesn't get her own way, she does go into the little sulking, and I'm like, we ain't doing that. Cut that. It's a chop. Cut that out. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, but it's how you come back. You know what I mean? I can't wait for them to have another match again. Ooh, I can't wait. And I already know Townsend's gonna whoop her ass. Like she stated, this is not the first time Townsend has won her. Ooh, that rematch. And I hope it's in the UK. I hope it's at Wimbledon. Come on. Definitely the next match they have, I'm definitely tuning in. Like, come on. But shout out to her, and I agree with what she said.
So another recent news, Taylor Townsend just whooped Jalena in tennis. And since she just been crashing out, coming up with every excuse in the book, now she's saying Taylor did not do her warm-ups right. She didn't do the correct way to warm up. All I got to say about that, white fragility, you guys. White fragility. It's okay, you lost. Love.
I loved his video, and he told Nola like she is crashing out bad, bad. Like, oh, it's all the excuses for me. Like, oh, she didn't warm up right. She didn't apologize. She hit the ball off the. It's like, girl, you lost. Your racket didn't do the talking. Now you're out here crashing out and doing way too much talking. Let your racket do the talking for you, please. Train up, rematch, and let's see what you've got. Bring your best game. Like, come on. Jeez. But again, we all know why she's crashing out, because she wants to overshadow her celebration. But we're celebrating over here. Like, we're so proud. We're proud that she won. We're proud that how she's handling it. So yeah, you keep over there with your people. Like she said, the people over there, the haters, that section's gone now. So, We can't hear you. As much as you're crashing out and you're doing the most, we can't hear you, boo. But yeah, we're super proud of Taylor, man. Keep doing your thing, keep pushing through. And again, she's a mother, so even that juggling, I mean, her job, the sport, and being a mother. But yeah, man, I'm so here for it. I am upset that she doesn't get a lot of support and sponsors like the other girlies do. But I love the fact, so no one would sponsor her, like Nike, Under Armour, Adidas. She literally made her own clothing. And I love that because she's keeping the money like in-house. And, people might start buying her merch. So I love that. She's so talented, educated, and has class. But yeah, I love her, man. And just keep striving, keep training, and keep winning the matches.
Messages for Jalena Ostapenko. How you gonna say Taylor Townsend ain't educated when she literally just schooled you?
Yes, I loved that clip. No long thing, straight to the point. She's got no education, but she just schooled you. For those that get it, get it. Don't let that shit go over your head and don't think about it too long. But yeah, guys, that's it for this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And big up Taylor Townsend. Keep doing your thing, girly. And yeah, man, keep training, keep winning these matches and showing these girls how black magic and how black girls do it. But yeah, guys, please like, comment, and subscribe and share this video. Stay safe, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.